Poltergeist presents Terrifying Tales.
Hi, I'm Debbie.
And I'm Allison.
And we're the Poltergals.
Spooky.
This is from the book Ghost Stories of Texas by Joanne Christensen, published by Lone Pine Publishing. You can find them at lonepinepublishing.com or at ghostbooks.net.
Grandmother saved her. In 1936, young Mary Macy was visiting her parents' home in Texas. One of the things Mary loved best about such visits was that she was able to spend time with her adored horse, Whiskers. The two would take long rides along the Rio Grande, south of La Paloma. It was during one of these rides that Mary ran into a bit of trouble. Mary and Whiskers accidentally came upon a group of men who were unloading crates from a rowboat. "Stop her," one of them yelled. "If she gets away, she'll tell the cops." The men were smugglers who had just crossed the Rio Grande from Mexico. Mary whirled Whiskers around and spurred him into a run. The horse was fast, but the smugglers had a car. Mary heard the engine roar to life behind her, and she knew that if she stayed in the open, they would be able to head her off before she could escape. She tugged on the reins and forced Whiskers to cut a path through the brush. There, she reasoned, the men would be forced to chase her on foot. She was right, but ran into trouble just the same. Only a short distance into the dense brush, Mary and Whiskers ran into a fence. It was a dead end, and the smugglers had them trapped. Mary listened in terror as the men grew nearer. Then, to her amazement, she heard a soft, familiar voice behind her. "Don't be afraid." Mary spun around. Standing there by the fence was her grandmother Josephine, who had died more than 10 years earlier. The woman smiled calmly at Mary and nodded slightly, as if to assure her that everything would be all right. "Grandma," Mary began. In the wonder of the moment, she had nearly forgotten the danger that she was facing. Fortunately, Grandma Josephine had not. "Hurry, child," the spirit urged. "Get your horse over here in that thick, low brush. Make him lie down, and you lie beside him. They'll never suspect a horse hidden in such low brush." Mary quickly obeyed. She slid out of the saddle and coaxed Whiskers down to the ground. Then she lay silently beside him and prayed that the approaching men would not hear her pounding heart. It seemed that they hid for an eternity while the smugglers searched the area. Finally, the smugglers gave up in frustration and left. When the sound of their retreating voices had finally faded to nothing, Mary got to her feet. "You were right, Grandma. They're gone," she cried joyfully. It was then that Mary discovered Grandma Josephine was also gone. Mary was once again safe, but alone. Nearly 40 years after the incident, Mary Macy wrote about it. She recalled that despite her greatest wishes, she never again encountered the spirit of her loving grandmother. "I prayed she might come and speak to me one more," Mary wrote, "but I never saw her again." Perhaps it was because Mary never again faced such imminent danger. Almost certainly, however, Josephine continued to watch over her granddaughter, just in case. Be sure to follow us on Facebook or on YouTube at The Poltergals, or on Instagram at @the_Poltergals. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast or at roguemedianetwork.com.
You've been listening to the Poltergals,
a Rogue Media Network podcast.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.